Hi everyone, welcome to week 6 of class. And this week we're going to be talking about a heavy topic, which is suicide. And you're going to have a discussion board, but before you complete the discussion board, I need for you to read chapter 9 in your COUN text, which discusses suicide. And then also, I need for you to watch the Columbia Suicide Severity Rating Scale Screener training video. Now let me tell you a little bit about this training video. The CSSRS, there are multiple versions of it that comes in many languages. There are versions that are specific for use in prisons, versions specific for use in emergency rooms, in community health agencies, and so forth. But the screener is very short, and it's a very short 6-question instrument that we can use to assess an individual's risk for a suicide attempt. Now there is a full version. Here in Blackboard, I'm asking, you're required to watch the screener video, training video. You're not required to watch the video about the full version, although I do encourage you to do that. But very quickly, the screener is something that I have found to be extremely helpful in practice. And I think that it's really important that when we have clients who are at risk for suicide, or who, we worry about their risk, that we are engaging them in discussion about it, and that we're documenting that we're completing a suicide risk assessment. And so maybe where you work, you already have some type of instrument that you use to screen for suicide risk. If not, maybe you'll like the CSSRS and you'll think about implementing it. But I think that it's very important for our documentation. So taking a look at the screener very quickly, you can see that there are only 6 questions, and you would begin with question 1, and you would ask questions 1 and 2. If an individual responds affirmatively to both of those questions, then you would continue and ask all the rest of the questions. If they answer no to number 2, then you would skip down to number 6. And you can see that depending on how the client answers, there's a color-coded chart which gives you a risk level. And down at the bottom, you can see that if they fall into the yellow area, they could be thought to be at low risk. Orange would be moderate risk, and red would be high risk. And so you'd probably want to take further action, and you'd probably want to do the full version, which would give you additional information about where the client's risk. So that's it. But the training video is going to tell you a lot more than that. That question, that 6th question, is really important. It's an action question. It goes beyond just asking if you have suicidal ideation. Do you have a method? Do you have a plan? Do you have means? Do you have motive or intent to make a suicide attempt? But it goes beyond to saying, have you done anything or prepared in any way to do this, which is a very important question to ask, because it's a question that we don't always ask. Sometimes clients will do things to prepare. They might write a list of things that I need to do before I make my attempt. Leave videos or audios for my children, clean out a closet because I wouldn't want anybody to find something, or buy a funeral dress or something. So they might have begun to do some of these things, and they might have given that up. But knowing that information is so important in assessing their risk. Now you'll see in Blackboard that I have provided you with the video and the screener for the screener version, and the video and the instrument for the full version. But at the very bottom, I have also provided you with a link to the Columbia site where you can access all the different versions that are there. If you work in a prison and you think, gosh, this might be really good to implement, the prison version has triage. It's color coded just like the version that you see here that I'm giving you, but down at the bottom it will tell you, depending on the color code, what the next course of action for an offender might be who is suicidal. Again, the emergency room version has its own recommendations for triage of clients depending on the outcomes. So once you're done with this, you will go down to the discussion board, and I know it's a difficult topic again, but I encourage everyone to look at this as an opportunity to talk about a very difficult subject, and to be open maybe about experiences too that you've had that influence how you feel about doing suicide assessments with clients. So I hope that everybody has a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.